One by one, elite students disappear and end up as guests at a bloody birthday party. The film opens by showing a girl named Bernadette preparing to go to a bar to meet her friends. On her way there, she runs into Patterson, the headmistress, as well as the owner of the dormitory where she lives. Patterson briefly brings up the Top 10, an elite group that also happens to be Bernadette's circle of friends. Bernadette herself is one of the members, a group made up of the 10 best students at the school. To join this group, someone must be highly intelligent and come from a wealthy background. Every night, the members of the Top 10 regularly gather at a bar. Before parting ways, Patterson reminds Bernadette to be home before midnight.
Where are you going? Do you have any idea what time it is?
Well, I was just going up to the village.
You mean the second home for the Crawford Top 10?
Yes, Mrs. Patterson.
Just be sure you're back before midnight.
Not long after, Bernadette gets into her car, but just as she is about to start driving, a mysterious figure suddenly appears and strangles her from behind. Despite panicking, Bernadette manages to think quickly and pretends to be dead to trick the attacker, eventually breaking free from his grip. She then runs away to save herself, but the mysterious figure continues chasing her relentlessly. In the middle of her panic, she comes across someone she knows, which makes her feel a bit relieved, but unexpectedly, that person pulls out a knife and slashes Bernadette's neck. The scene then shifts to the Top 10 members waiting for Bernadette at the bar, consisting of Etienne, Anne, Maggie, Rudy, Steve, Amelia, Greg, Alfred, and their newest member, Virginia. They begin to wonder why Bernadette still hasn't arrived, and not long after, Alfred shows up carrying his pet rat. The atmosphere in the bar has been uncomfortable due to the noise made by a group of older men, and Greg, who has been holding back his frustration, finally loses his temper and is about to confront them. As the situation starts to heat up, Rudy deliberately uses Alfred's pet rat to disturb the group of older men. The group of older men becomes furious because of Rudy and his friend's prank, and realizing the situation is getting out of control, the Top 10 members quickly run away to avoid being caught. Once they reach the parking area, they notice a drawbridge nearby, and without thinking much, all of the Top 10 members, except Alfred, decide to play a dangerous game where they drive at high speed to try and cross the bridge as it is lifting. Most of them seem to enjoy the extreme thrill, but unlike the others, Virginia looks anxious and terrified. While inside the car with Greg and Amelia, Virginia becomes hysterical as Greg speeds forward and drives across the bridge, even though it has already lifted quite high. But despite the risk, Greg manages to make it across safely.
Come on, everybody, let's play the game! Remember your stomach! Stop the car! No! No, Greg, no! Stop it, you'll kill yourself!
After the dangerous stunt, Virginia is overwhelmed with fear and immediately gets out of Greg's car, then goes to visit her mother's grave located not far from her house. About a year earlier, Virginia and her mother were involved in a tragic car accident that took her mother's life, while Virginia survived but lost part of her memory, and until now she still cannot remember what really happened before the accident. At her mother's grave, Virginia talks about how she has now become a member of the Top 10 at Crawford Academy, and how happy she is to be friends with the elite students at her school. But suddenly she hears a noise coming from the bushes nearby, and when she checks, she finds Etienne secretly watching her. Etienne then offers to take her home, but Virginia refuses, and when she arrives home, her father Hal advises her not to visit her mother's grave too often. Unbeknownst to Virginia, Etienne secretly sneaks into her room and steals her underwear. The next day, Patterson asks the Top 10 members about Bernadette's whereabouts, but none of them know where she is.
Bernadette O'Hara is late. I know she was with you last night. Has anyone seen her this morning?
We waited for her, but she never showed up.
Morning, Professor.
After school ends, Virginia goes to meet her psychiatrist, David, where she explains that she once underwent brain surgery to help restore her memory. The procedure allows her to gradually recall the events that happened before the accident that took her mother's life. Virginia has come to see David as a father figure because her real father is always busy with work, which often leaves her feeling lonely, while David is always there for her and becomes the one she can confide in. Later, Virginia goes to watch a race that Etienne is participating in, and in that race, Etienne manages to win first place. To celebrate his victory, the Top 10 members agree to have a party at the bar. After the race, Etienne suddenly shows Virginia her own underwear, and seeing that, Virginia feels disgusted and angry, then immediately walks away from him. She later tells Anne about what happened, explaining that Etienne stole her underwear, and Anne confirms that Etienne indeed has a habit of stealing women's underwear. That night, while Etienne is warming up his motorcycle engine, a mysterious psychopath quietly appears behind him, and because the engine is so loud, Etienne doesn't notice anything. Without hesitation, the attacker quickly wraps Etienne's scarf into the motorcycle's chain, and within seconds, it tightens violently around his neck. Etienne is completely helpless as the scarf pulls tighter and tighter until he is killed on the spot. Meanwhile, the top 10 members begin to grow confused because Etienne never shows up to his own celebration party, and not only Etienne, but Alfred is also absent from the gathering. After leaving the bar, Anne suggests that she and Virginia sneak into Alfred's house, and once inside, they are shocked to find many preserved animal corpses, along with various disturbing masks made by Alfred. However, the most shocking discovery is what appears to be Bernadette's severed head, instantly turning the atmosphere into something terrifying. But not long after, Alfred suddenly appears and explains that it is only a silicone mask made to resemble Bernadette's face. The next day, the top 10 members are called into Patterson's office, where they are questioned one by one about the disappearance of two of their members, Bernadette and Etienne, but none of them admit to knowing where they are. That night, while Greg is working out in the fitness room, the mysterious psychopath appears again, but this time something feels different as Greg seems to talk to the figure as if they know each other. Not long after, the situation turns horrifying as the psychopath brutally kills Greg using a barbell.
Oh, it's you. Hey, do me a favor, slap on 10 more, huh? How about 2 more 25s? What are you doing? Come on, please put him back.
A few moments later, Amelia arrives at the fitness room and is confused when she cannot find Greg there. The next day, during a soccer match, Anne and Virginia try to calm Amelia, who has been visibly anxious since Greg's disappearance. In the match, Rudy and Alfred manage to lead their team to victory. After the game, Rudy invites Virginia to go up to the church tower, but once there, he suddenly scares her by pulling out a knife, which makes Virginia panic and become terrified, causing her to immediately leave and go to see David. On her way to David's office, Virginia passes by a severely injured patient, and the sight triggers memories of the brain surgery she once underwent, where her past begins to slowly resurface. Virginia starts to feel that something is wrong with her since the operation, sensing changes she cannot explain, as if a part of her is no longer the same. Seeing her condition, David tries to calm her down, assuring her that everything she is experiencing is part of the process of recovering her memories. The next day, because 3 students have gone missing, Crowford Academy launches a large-scale investigation among the students. One of the police officers discovers a student's scarf along with a human skull in the school garden, which immediately sparks panic among the students. But after further examination, the skull turns out to be only a replica. Meanwhile, Virginia, who is in the library, is startled by Rudy's sudden appearance, and seeing him makes her feel relieved since he had previously disappeared. At the same time, Virginia begins to feel terrified that she might have unknowingly harmed the people around her. While hanging out with her friends near the swimming pool, Virginia experiences another flashback when she sees Maggie diving, and she finally remembers that her mother died by drowning. The memory makes her even more restless, and not long after she goes to visit her mother's grave, without realizing that Alfred is secretly following her from behind to confess his feelings. However, in a sudden turn of events, Virginia attacks him and stabs him to death on the spot, showing that she is no longer the same person as before, as her behavior has drastically changed and become increasingly uncontrollable. From this moment, it appears that the mysterious psychopath terrorizing everyone is actually Virginia herself, further supported by the fact that she wears the same gloves as the killer during the murders. The next morning, Hal says goodbye to Virginia as he has to leave town for work that needs to be handled. Virginia looks sad because her father once again cannot attend her birthday party, which will be held on Sunday, but to comfort her, Hal promises that he will try his best to come. That night, the remaining members of the top 10 attend a party held by their school, and there, Virginia invites Steve to stop by her house.
Let's get out of here.
Aren't you having a good time? What would my father say? I make real good midnight snacks.
Just the 2 of us.
While they are enjoying a barbecue dinner together, Virginia once again reveals her dark side by suddenly attacking and killing Steve, stabbing his throat with a barbecue skewer. The next morning, Anne comes to Virginia's house and says that Virginia spent time with Steve the night before, but strangely, Virginia has no memory of inviting him over. While taking a shower, Virginia experiences another flashback of the car accident on the drawbridge, where, in her memory, her mother appears angry about something that had humiliated both of them. As they were about to cross the bridge, it suddenly lifted and trapped their car in the middle, causing it to fall into the river, and in order to save Virginia, her mother sacrificed her life. When Virginia snaps out of the memory, she is shocked to see the bathroom floor flooded with water, and when she checks the bathtub, she panics even more after finding Anne's body submerged inside. This makes Virginia hysterical, and she immediately calls David. When David arrives at her house, he asks to see Anne's body, but when they check, it has mysteriously disappeared, leaving Virginia even more confused and terrified. She begins to believe that she is responsible for her friends' deaths, and her fear grows stronger as she suspects that she may have a split personality, with her other self being the one committing all the murders. Virginia then tells David that this personality may have emerged after she was taken by the top 10 members across the drawbridge, the same place where she and her mother had their tragic accident, suggesting that the trauma may have triggered her alternate personality. Their conversation continues until exactly midnight, which coincides with Virginia's birthday, and as someone who has always been there for her, David wishes her a happy birthday. Since Virginia is alone at home, David decides to stay and keep her company until Hal returns. The next morning, a detective comes to Virginia's house to question her, telling her that Anne has been reported missing and that her car was found parked in the bushes not far from Virginia's home. But David tries to deflect the situation by saying that Virginia is sick and insists that no guests have come to her house recently. News about the disappearance of half of the elite students at Crowford Academy begins to spread in the newspapers, and David later informs Virginia that the police have indeed found Anne's car in the bushes, which further strengthens Virginia's fear that she is responsible for her friends' deaths. David then asks Virginia to try to remember what happened before her accident, and she begins to recall that the incident occurred a year ago on her birthday. At that time, her mother, Estelle, who was still considered new among high society, hosted a party and invited wealthy students such as Bernadette, Etienne, Greg, Steve, Alfred, and Anne. But after waiting for a long time, none of the guests, including Virginia's father, showed up. At the same time, Anne was also hosting her own birthday party at her house, and the elite students chose to attend Anne's party instead, not even inviting Virginia because she was still seen as an outsider. Feeling humiliated and treated unfairly, Estelle became furious and decided to take Virginia to Anne's party. But when they arrived, they were turned away because Virginia's name was not on the guest list. From this chain of events, a strong suspicion arises that Virginia killed Bernadette, Etienne, Steve, Alfred, and Anne as an act of revenge for what they had done to her in the past.
It's almost 5 o'clock. Did you tell them to come at 4?
Can't get home until the weekend. Would you tell Ginny I'll make it up to her? When I get back, we'll have another party.
Where are you?
I'm still in Caracas, honey.
There's a party at Ann Thomerson's house.
God damn it, you snots. Why didn't they invite you?
They don't even know me. They're not coming.
We'll go to theirs.
See, they're invited.
She doesn't need an invitation. My daughter's going to that party.
Just take your little girl and go home.
God damn you! So they're gonna pay for this.
Back to Virginia, that night she experiences a nightmare about her mother, who seems to want to destroy the lives of the elite students, and she wakes up in a hysterical state before rushing out of her room. Meanwhile, David chooses to wait until Virginia calms down, but not long after, Virginia suddenly returns carrying a metal rod and, without hesitation, attacks him until he dies. A few hours later, Hal arrives home, having rushed back so he can be with Virginia on her birthday, but upon entering, he is shocked to see bloodstains on the walls of Virginia's room. Unable to find his daughter, he begins to fear that something terrible has happened. As he searches around the yard, he encounters Amelia, who looks shocked, as if she has just witnessed something horrifying. When Hal goes to Estelle's grave, he is even more disturbed to find that it has been dug up, and even more shocking, inside Estelle's coffin lies David's body, while Estelle's remains are missing. Not long after, Hal notices a faint light coming from a small shed near his house, and when he enters, he is horrified to discover the bodies of the elite students who had gone missing, along with Estelle's body. In the middle of that terrifying scene, Virginia suddenly walks into the shed carrying a birthday cake, leaving Hal frozen in disbelief at what his daughter has done.
Happy birthday to me.
After blowing out the candles, Virginia mercilessly kills Hal with the knife she is holding. After that, a shocking truth is finally revealed that there are actually two versions of Virginia, the real Virginia and a fake one. The fake Virginia is the one who has been behind the murders of half of the top 10 members, including David and Hal, while the real Virginia had been drugged and placed unconscious on the birthday table all this time.
And now for you, bitch. Poor dear little sister.
Take a look. Since I ruined your last party, I've made certain precious birthday, just as you always wanted. They're all here.
With David. I didn't even notice for a moment it wasn't you. I did it again.
When the fake Virginia is about to kill the real one, Virginia regains consciousness and manages to fight back, and during the struggle, she accidentally tears off the mask worn by the attacker. Virginia is shocked to discover that the person behind the mask is Anne. It turns out that Anne has been holding a deep grudge against Virginia all along, and she is the one who killed half of the top 10 members by disguising herself as Virginia. Before carrying out her actions, Anne always drugged Virginia so that when she woke up, she would remember nothing and begin to believe that she had a split personality. The reason behind Anne's hatred is finally revealed, as Estelle was actually Hal's affair partner, and Hal is also Anne's biological father, meaning that Anne and Virginia are half-sisters. It is also revealed why Hal never attended Virginia's birthday, because Anne's birthday falls on the same day. But in the end, Hal chose to abandon Anne and her mother to live with Estelle and Virginia. From that moment, Anne's family was destroyed, her mother left, and she was forced to live alone, growing up in suffering and loneliness.
As a special treat, we all get to watch you die.
Surprised? You planned it so you'd never suspect a thing. You trusted me. Made it all so easy for me.
I even talked like you, walked like you, I dressed like you.
I woke up remembering nothing. You come, go as I pleased.
Just like her fucking whore!
Father's mistress. You ruined our lives. That's why my mother left us. And now it's your turn.
Driven by deep resentment, Anne carefully planned all the murders by wearing a Virginia mask that she had ordered from Alfred, making Virginia believe that she had a split personality, and her only goal was to completely destroy Virginia's life and make her lose everyone she loved, just as Anne had once lost everything herself. As Anne is about to kill Virginia, Virginia manages to stop her and fight back, and in that moment, she stabs Anne in the stomach until Anne dies right in front of her. At the same time, a detective arrives at the shed and finds Virginia covered in blood while holding a knife, and without knowing the truth, he assumes that Virginia is the one responsible for all the murders of the missing Crowford students. As a result, it's very likely that Virginia will be arrested and punished for crimes she never actually committed, and the story comes to an end.